Oh, nice. What's up, guys? Oh, nice, dude. Nice, man. Yeah, I'm just starting. Thanks, though. I appreciate that. Mhm. Whoa. Chase. Dude, no way. Oh, that's awesome, bro. I love that. That's rad. Thanks for letting me know. Dude. 1 second. Okay. Let's see where this is. Okay. Oh, thank you, man. What's up, Alan? Degrader. How's it going, man? This. It's actually this. Okay, cool. And then, hey, Hazel. Hey, Michelle. Mm. Liked videos. Hey, Linda.
I used to be a science teacher in a public school
Okay. Okay, here we go.
in Australia.
What?
And
Why would I?
one of the first science lessons I taught,
Stop.
one of the students.
Hey, user. Hey, Dr. Keisha.
What are we talking about?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Keisha Davis is in the house, guys. She was just on Don Lemon's show today. If you aren't following Dr. Keisha, please do. She is a leader. She is awesome. I'm so happy for her, like going on Don Lemon. That was so cool. Talking about the autopsy report. So congratulations, Dr. Keisha. I hope, and I said it and I'll say it again. I hope you are a regular on there. That'd be so cool. You deserve it, and I'm really happy for you. So congratulations again. So yeah, Don Lemon show. Yeah, very cool. Very cool, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys doing well. I dropped my political tier list, presidential tier list. Um getting all excited on that. Wanted to go through something science heavy today. If you guys would be so inclined. Hope you guys are having a good night. So let's check it out. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, GMOs, are they safe? GMO side effects. What does that even mean? Let's check it out, okay? Let's see what's going on. Here we go.
Genetically modified foods and the side effects.
Here we go. What does this even mean, ladies and gentlemen? What does that even mean? GMO side effects. Here we go.
We're talking about genetically modified foods and the side effects and what you should be eating instead. And I'll say this, I think a lot of the information here Jeffrey's going to share with you is going to blow your mind. In fact, Jeffrey, if you don't know him, he has been the pioneer of the non-GMO movement. When you see non-GMO on a lot of the foods out there today, Jeffrey really is a big part of starting that. And also, he runs the Institute of Responsible Technology. And so if you really want to continue to learn more about how to go non-GMO free, he's got some great products, great movies like Genetic Roulette out there as well. So we'll talk about that here at the end. But
Genetic Roulette, are they talking about like genomic recombinations? Is that what they're talking about? Genome reshuffling. They have to be talking about genome reshuffling. What are they talking about here? So curious. I mean, obviously also at the edge here, they have maize in the background, right? Which is so funny because maize obviously is one of the most genetically engineered products that we have as humans, just in general. It's been, basically selectively bred over 10,000 years of human manipulation and picking the best winner over and over and over again until you get something like this, which is this, the large corn on the cob. Like that is a feat of a lot of genetic mutations over time. And molecular biology, basically the goal is to change as little DNA as possible, right? And confer a big change as much as we can, making plants more efficient, more nutritious, fit more in the same area, and also use less pesticides in general. So GMOs are a good thing.
I want to start off the program with this. Help us spread the word that food is medicine and it shouldn't be poison. Take a minute.
Gluten. Gluten is a product of GMOs. I mean, I don't know if is gluten from wheat technically? I don't know. That's a really good more resilient. Yeah, that's a great question. That's a really good point, Gabriel. Um, they are more resilient, much more resilient in terms of the uh, ability to take salt stress, abiotic stress, climate, weather changes, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know if gluten. I don't think gluten specifically is from genetically modified organisms, but I don't know if wheat can be genetically modified. I don't know if it's one of them.
Right now, punch that share button right here on Facebook and YouTube. We want to help spread that message. Also, we'd love to hear from you. So take a minute right now here on Facebook. Let us know the city you're
Of
from,
course,
the
it's a
state you're
Facebook
from,
thing.
and the country you're from. We'd love to hear from you in helping us go GMO free. We're going to dive into the first point, and then we're going to say hey to a lot of you watching.
How
Jeffrey,
exciting! Thanks.
great to have you here. Thank you
Great
for
to have you
pioneering this
here,
movement.
Jeff. Thank
GMO
you.
side effects. This is some of the things we're going to talk about today. Number one here, an increase in allergies.
You know, genetically modified organisms, you take a gene from one species and you force it into the DNA of other species. And they
Not necessarily. I mean, it could be just you changing genes that are already there. So in making little small changes within the genome that already exists and giving a big change, because of that, turning a gene on or off, knocking one on, knocking one out. It just there is an ability for us to do that hyper specific, super specific mutations in order to do that. So already this guy really has no idea what he's talking about. So
found out a long time ago that when you put a gene in, it might create a protein that's an allergen. However, there's
okay.
other ways that you might create allergens in a genetically modified crop. The very process of inserting the gene into the DNA causes massive collateral damage in the DNA, and you could increase the existence of allergens that are produced already in the crop.
What? Okay, think about this. If you are creating a product, all right, would you want a massive amount of changes all over? No, no, you're gonna wanna make as many as small and as precise of changes as possible. That's what we do. How could we confirm it? How can we confirm that there's not any genetic changes going all over the genome, ladies and gentlemen? How could we do that? What would be the way to check the DNA of the organisms before it goes off to market? Maybe we could look at how the A, C, T's, and G's are put in a line one after one another. What's it called? Ooh, is it like the one like a sequence from one to another? Maybe we could like sequence the genome. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's pretty cheap now. Pretty easy. Very routine. Everyone's sequencing their products before they go out to market, so you don't have these massive amounts of off-target effects, man. This is just basic things. It's very affordable. Yes, exactly. It's super affordable. That's been the whole, impetus of this, making sequencing of wildly available. Illumina had, really pioneered sequencing by synthesis. Sequencing by synthesis is a revolutionary new way that we can sequence populations of organisms all together and not just like a single plant. So you can actually sequence like an entire field of plants together all in one tube. And it just, I guess, is in one small little tube. And then you send it out for sequencing and you get all of that stuff back. You get all the barcodings for all the individual ones. It's really cool, actually. It is really sweet. So, but this guy's wrong on multiple accounts. How shocking.
Crop.
Wow.
For example, in Monsanto's soy, there's an allergen called trypsin inhibitor, which is as much as 7 times higher in cooked GM soy compared to cooked non-GM soy. And there was a study that just came out that found out, this is very interesting, they found out that genetically modified corn is this corn engineered to be sprayed with Monsanto's Roundup, so it's called Roundup Ready corn. that not only does it have more Roundup in it, but it has proteins that are responsible for why rotting dead bodies smell.
Wow.
What? Wait, so that it has more Roundup in it. I don't understand what he's even talking about. So basically, the change that is made in these things is called the EPSPS gene. I know because I've done it. I've literally done this exact mutation on plants before. I've done this, and you can just change the EPSPS that's already in a plant and make it Roundup ready. But what Monsanto does is they make a little cassette, it's called, when there's pieces of the DNA that are all lined up in a specific order, promoter, the protein coding sequence, and then the terminator, all in one like cassette. Boom, you put it in there, and it basically creates a a bunch of proteins that you want. So in this way, they're actually protected when glyphosate is sprayed on them, right? That's the idea. So that's what it does. That's what it does.
Names of these proteins are putrescine and cadaverin. Now, not
Wow,
only
those
is it
are
disgusting,
scary big words. I'm shaking.
but also it's related to allergies as well as to cancer. So the higher levels of putrescine and cadaverin might create higher levels of allergies. So when I go to speak at conferences and I speak at talks all over the country and all over the world, I'll ask people, what disorders and diseases did you get better from when you switched to non-GMO organic diets? And not only allergies, but all immune system types of disease and disorders are a common response. We also
Wow, and you can see the set, like the bubbling right here of like how these guys turn out to be anti-vax. This is 9 years ago, so this is before the pandemic. And now they're already kind of like seeding this idea, right? That like our food system is inherently poisonous, that these foods are keeping us unhealthy. And it can't be that people are just obese, guys. It can't be that, obviously it has to be the food dyes apparently, or whatever their main culprit is. But you can definitely see how the misinformation is already spreading in these guys. And then obviously the pandemic comes over, and of course these guys are definitely going to be selling you ivermectin with the ivermectin for sure, man.
surveyed 3,600 people who were getting better from various diseases and disorders, and allergies and other immune system problems was right up there as one of the most popular. So if you're experiencing allergies, and we have thousands of doctors prescribing non-GMO diets, they say this is something that
thousands of doctors prescribing GMO diets, ladies and gentlemen. How does that even work? How could you prescribe? No doctor is doing this, but tons of chiropractors. Chiropractors across the country are doing that, but no, you're not prescribing a GMO-free diet. Like, what does that even mean? How could you even have a naturopathic doctor? Exactly, Gabriel. All of these guys are all the same nonsense every single time. They think that they're so unique, but yeah, here we go.
turn around very, very quickly.
Yeah, as Jeffrey's saying here, if you've got allergies, immune-related issues, different types of reactions you shouldn't be having, a lot of
How broad these
sensitivities,
are.
multiple sensitivities, GMOs could be a major, major causative factor. And think about
how scary that is. How broad their statements are. Guys, if your eyesight's going poorly, if you can't see as well, if you've lost a pep in your step, if it's a little harder to get out of bed in the morning, like it's just like so broad. Like, how would the mechanism of a genetically modified organism with changed DNA, how is that going to impact everything that they're talking about? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. The mechanism of action just isn't there. And we have tons of different types of genetically modified organisms too. So the idea that they're lumping them all together under one banner, under one idea, and then selling this to you is so apparent, right? They're painting with the broadest broadest brush possible in order to elicit the most fear possible. And then now here you come in and you're like, hey, man, I have seen some of that stuff. I do actually have some problems with that. What could it be? I've never tried a non-GMO food diet. Why not? And now, because you're paying more attention to your health, now that you're paying more attention to what's going on your plate, you just inherently are probably going to become a little healthier over time. And now, boom, now they got you, right? Now they got you at the $50 a month coaching lesson. They got you at the $100 a month vitamin pack. They got you with the water filters because there's fluoride in your water. Don't you remember that too? Now you got these monthly subscription models that these guys are selling you, and here we are. Here we are.
People you know, do you know people right now that have chronic allergy issues all the time? Maybe they have immune-related issues. If you know those people, hey,
immune-related issues.
Take a minute right now, punch that share button. We're live here teaching the world how to go GMO free. And if you stand with Jeffrey and I, and you believe that GMOs should be banned, we'd love to hear that from you as well.
GMO
on
should be
Facebook
banned.
Live. I got a comment here from Sandy Kelly. She says, this is great. These companies need to be outed, especially Monsanto. Linda Butler says,
Oh my
I
gosh.
love Jeffrey Smith. Love his info. Thanks from Ontario, Canada. And Jeffrey, we got people right now from all over the world. Mindy Guthrie's watching from Redding, California. Hey, Mindy, thanks for joining us here today. We've got Natalie Powell watching from Perth, Australia.
Wow.
Hey, Natalie,
Wow.
thanks for watching here.
We got people from all around the world. You've got one person from Australia. I'm world famous, okay? We're world famous all across the world right now, bro. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm live too. Get out of here.
Today as well. We've got Dr. Scott Perlman watching from Marietta, Georgia. People from all over the world here. This is great. We love to see this, guys.
We've got a Jersey
All right,
girl.
So let's go ahead and dive in and talk about the next one here. Antibiotic resistance. Now, there are conditions like MRSA and other issues that are continuing to just explode. Yeah. What's the cause?
Well, the overuse of antibiotics causes the antibiotics to change and to become resistant to the antibiotics. Now, it's interesting that within most GMOs, they put in a gene that's called an antibiotic resistant marker gene. It's just part.
Yeah, we do this so that we know what actually has the DNA that we changed. So we put it in order to make sure that the change happened. But honestly, if you actually want to be the best and the most due diligence, you actually, it's called recycling your marker. So that's called a resistance marker. And basically it marks the cell that actually has the mutation that we want. But actually due diligence, if you're actually like really going to go forward, you actually take that part out. So you actually take that bacterial resistance marker out. You're not going to put it into the final product of the plant necessarily, right? That resistance marker is for bacterial work, right? You're not going to necessarily put it into the final organism. So it's just, I don't understand, but I'm sure as molecular biologists, we work with bacteria. Everything starts out with bacteria because bacteria is kind of like the notepad where you assemble the DNA. But when you go into your final organism, you're not going to take 1,500, 2,000 base pairs of antibiotic resistance when you don't need to. It just doesn't make any sense. So, but this guy doesn't know anything. This guy is he's not a molecular biologist. He has no idea how to do any of this stuff. But here we go. Let's hear it.
Part of the process. It doesn't really have to be there, but they put it in there. And the British Medical.
Okay. So he has no idea what he's talking about. So good. Yeah. So people. So just to get this right, in his mind, we do things that don't need to be there, but do things anyway, because famously, for-profit companies love to do just extra stuff, and waste materials and make things that are longer and harder to work with. Famously, they like to waste money. Is that what he's saying? Like, come on, man. Of course, a for-profit company is going to try to like make things as concise and small and packaged, and because you don't want those weird problems that could, because having a longer cassette, a longer piece of DNA has inherent like different problems with it. So, and in the future, what if you wanted to use that antibiotic resistance marker again? You take it out, you excise it, you marker shuffling. It's very standard in the field.
Association and the scientists at the FDA and the American Medical Association have all said this is not a good idea. We need to protect the public from this antibiotic resistant marker gene, because if the gene transfers into bacteria and creates antibiotic resistant pathogenic bacteria, we're just spreading this horrible situation right now where we're losing the effectiveness of our antibiotics.
What? That's wild. Okay, where to start? Okay, the antibiotics that we use. Okay, they're talking about MRSA, methicillin resistant staphylococcus. So it's not the ones that we're using. We're not using that stuff. We're using kanamycin, other things. There's a lot of different bacterial antibiotic resistance markers that are, they're not MRSA basically. I mean, they're just not the one that's just not what's happening. but yeah, it's nice. He's completely wrong there. He's just completely wrong on the resistance marker.
Now, there was a study done and published in 2004 in Nature Biotechnology that showed that part of the gene inserted into soybeans transferred into the DNA of the bacteria living inside our gut. Now, they don't know if it continued to function because they didn't check. But if this thing does continue to function, it means we may be creating antibiotic-resistant pathogens.
Wow.
Also, because of the corn that produces its own insecticide, we may be converting our intestinal flora into living pesticide factories.
Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so much wrong here. What happens inside of the plant? The plant is given, if it's like a BT, sometimes a plant does get a bacterial gene, like BT, okay? BT plants do get a bacterial cassette, right? A bacterial gene, right? That does get it. But the promoter and all the regions, everything in that is kind of like in the eukaryotic language. So it's within a plant that it's being made. Okay? It's not being made for prokaryotes, which is bacteria. All right? So the idea that you're going to like create like if you had plants inside, if you ate plants, you don't make plants inside your gut. Okay? The bacteria do bacteria things, and you aren't the BT insect or whatever. When we make insecticides, it binds to insects. You aren't an insect. When we make things inside of plants, a eukaryotic organism, they're not going to be able to transfer to bacteria inside your gut. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just fear mongering at its best. We're not pesticide factories because the pesticides are being made within plants. Are you a plant? No, you're not a plant. So you don't horizontal gene transfer from plant to bacteria or plant to human. Like it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't.
There's all sorts of things that might stick in our gut in the long term if this gene that gets transferred continues to function. And that's one of the reasons. Also,
It doesn't.
the major reason they genetically engineer crops is to spray them with Roundup herbicide. Roundup, it turns out, is an antibiotic. It's patented as such. So we're getting Roundup in the food supply, which can potentially increase the growth of antibiotic-resistant disease.
What is he just throwing all this stuff? Roundup, glyphosate it attacks. It's an herbicide. Okay, so it attacks plants. So you're not gonna it binds to plant proteins. You're not gonna have glyphosate resistant gut bacteria. Think about this. He's just throwing things at the wall here, seeing what's gonna what's gonna stick. I'm telling you, there's lots of different systems that he's commingling together, and he just has no idea what he's talking about.
Wow, thanks so much, Jeffrey.
Wow.
We've got some more people jumping on. We've got Funasak watching from Thailand. Hey, thanks for joining us here today. Looks like we have someone on from Mexico, someone else who just joined us here from Spain. Awesome,
guys. In the chat right now, tell me where you're from right now. I feel out of the loop. Okay, everyone in chat, tell me where you're from. Here we go. If they're gonna do this, let's see it.
Guys, we got people jumping on from all over
USA.
the world.
There you go,
Thanks for
Ducray.
sharing this. I see some of you guys
Allentown.
share this information and being on mission with
Tacoma,
us.
Washington.
Now, these next two are huge. Jeffrey.
North Carolina. Oh, nice.
Together, problems with the endocrine system and the reproductive system. Actually, let me backtrack again. Would you just rattle off real quick for everybody the top genetically modified foods that they want to stay away
Vegas,
from?
cool.
Okay. Soy, corn, cotton, which is used in cottonseed
Texas.
oil, canola, which is used in canola oil, alfalfa, which is used as animal feed, as everyone else, as all the other products are. We also have sugar from sugar beets.
Narnia, classic.
Also some yellow squash, some zucchini, some papaya from Hawaii or China, and just
What is
introduced to the market, apples and potatoes that don't brown when they're sliced. Those are the 10.
I did that. That was something that I did. That was actually because potatoes brown because of an oxidizing reaction. If you actually remove part of that, potatoes brown less. So their nutrition value isn't any less, but literally making this genetic modification makes less food waste. So it makes more people want to buy the potato, which makes people spend money on it. So instead of throwing it away, and they eat it instead of throwing it away, and that's a good thing. So he's saying oh, as if this is a bad thing. Like bruising on potatoes doesn't change the nutritional value. So food waste bad. I don't know the idea that he's saying it's a bad thing.
The 11 genetically modified crops plus the animal products from animals that are fed those products.
So again, these conditions we're talking about, if you're going and buying packaged food at the store or eating out fast food and you're eating products with corn in them, which is in almost everything, soy, canola, these things that Jeffrey's talking about. Man,
all these seed oils, guys. You just don't you see it already? You see all the seed oil nonsense that they're going to be still talking about. Again, this is 9 years ago. You can just, man, this is wild.
Here are some of the side effects. Let's jump in here. Endocrine issues and reproductive system disorders.
So they took a bunch of rats and they fed them Roundup Ready corn, or they just put Roundup in the drinking water, or they just fed them the Roundup Ready corn that hadn't been sprayed with Roundup. So basically they wanted to figure out if there was problems, what caused it. It turns out one of the problems that occurred was damage to the pituitary gland, which is the master gland in the body. So if we're getting damage to our pituitary gland, that could be a serious problem. In addition, there was a study done in Moscow where they fed rats, female rats, genetically modified soy starting 2 weeks before they got pregnant. Continue with the soy. It turns out more than half of the babies died within 3 weeks compared to a 10% death rate in the moms that were eating non-genetically modified soy. They find that mice that were fed genetically modified soy in a study in Italy had damage to their young sperm cells, to the testicles as well as to the early sperm cells. There was a study done in Brazil. They found damage in rats to the ovaries and to the uterus. In a study with pigs, they found the uterus was 25% heavier. So the reproductive disorders and the endocrine disorders are a serious problem, and Roundup or GMOs may be related to that. We don't know which. It's probably both.
Wow.
Dude, my uterus is hurting just listening to that. Again, I don't understand how he thinks that this makes any sense. What is the mechanism of a genetically modified organism interfering with any of these systems? I don't understand it. Yeah. Yeah, Gabriel, that's true. Yeah, that's a Roundup issue, not a GMO issue. I mean, also, I've seen the study that is how many much Roundup actually is in our food. And we're talking like in order to get to something that is somewhat like bad for you, like an LD50 or something like that, we're talking like you gotta eat like 1,000 pickles a day. It's like the amazing amount of vegetables that you'd have to be eat. There is just no way that it's possible in order to do that. Um, could the mice just have difficulties digesting soy? That's a good question, Hazel. I don't know. You know, again, and this is exactly right, Michael. It's just no citations. Like he's just saying in a study in this area, this thing did this thing, and you're like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, man. So he's just he's just talking. He's just talking. All right, let's keep it going. Yes, the glyphosate issue is mostly for the health of the workers in the farm communities. Yeah. Yeah, and, like, if you do want less runoff of herbicides, and everyone does, like, scientists work on this as a big thing. That was actually the impetus for my research in the nanotechnology lab, and a lot of the reasons that we were working on it with plants specifically is that it can actually you could use nanotechnology to deliver specifically to specific plants as they needed it in smaller amounts of pesticides less herbicides or whatever it is. So, there's nobody that cares more about like runoff from farms than ecologists and environmentalists, right? So it's just the confounding elements of these problems are we get it. As scientists, we get it and we care about them deeply. That's why we dedicate our lives to these subjects.
Wow, incredible. And think about all the women out there, Jeffrey, that are struggling with.
Yeah, and yeah, shout out to all my ecotoxicologists. Hell yeah. I love it. Thank you. Thank you guys. What happened if everything you eat is GMO then? Well, I mean, they just aren't. I mean, there's just not that many organisms that we can genetically modify now. I mean, plants are notoriously hard to genetically modify, and chloroplast transformations even more so. So it is extremely difficult to do a lot of plant transformations. So just aren't that many plants and on top of that, like globally, more like the majority of plants aren't genetically modified, but the majority of plants that are grown in the United States are genetically modified. So really what happens is that since the United States produces so much of the world's food, the food becomes genetically modified in the global food production. But there are anti-genetically modified food laws in Europe, for example, that are very harsh, like some of the harshest in the entire world.
PCOS, infertility, thyroid issues, and so many chronic endocrine, reproductive related problems. I mean, it's just
Let me tell
staggering.
you, and this is a good introduction.
Guys, I'm not a physician, okay? Mammals are boring, all right? Mammals as a research scientist, my hot take, mammals are boring. Humans are even more so boring because it's impossible to have a good study with a bunch of humans, okay? Because nobody wants to listen to the scientists. Nobody wants to listen, and we can't have a million subjects in in a cohort and have everyone actually do the things that we're asking as a scientist. So it's very frustrating. But my hypothesis, okay, it's probably going to do more with obesity than it's going to be from genetically modified organisms, right? Because being obese is going to impact your endocrine system. It's going to impact all those things that he was talking about. And we have a large portion of the United States that's obese. So that's what I would think. But hey, that's just I'm spitballing genuinely. I have no idea.
Doing a film now with Amy Hart called Secret Ingredients, and it's about families that heal from chronic conditions when they switch to organic foods. You can watch
Oh my
the trailer
God.
at Secret Ingredients.
And this is honestly, this is the thing that I hate. These guys are so nefarious. They're literally talking right now about how you don't need to go to your oncologist. You just need to go to a chiropractor and eat, organic foods and you're going to be good. It's so dangerous. It genuinely is so dangerous. Like look, man, Your guys's dude, okay? Steve Jobs, a billionaire, did this. He had a cancer that was found early enough to be treatable, and he went for over a year, did acupuncture, changed his diet, all this kind of stuff, basically refused modern medical treatment, and he died, guys. If a billionaire can't solve his cancer through acupuncture and lard instead of seed oils, okay? It ain't gonna be you, all right? It's not gonna be you, man. Please listen to your oncologist, your medical doctors, these people are trying to help you, okay? They're trying to keep you safe. So it's so sad to see these people shun away from medical science that could actually help them in favor of what, man? In favor of what? What are they gonna get? What are they getting out of you? They're getting you for a vitamin pack monthly subscription, and then but guess what? When the tumor needs to be cut out, this guy's not gonna be here. This guy's not gonna be at the surgery. He's not gonna be there. You're gonna rely on Western medicine and actual science in order to do the actual procedure, right? But then afterwards, guess what? Guess who's going to be there? This guy's going to be there to sell you the next thing, huh? That's when they show up. They show up in order to get money out of you, in order to exploit your situation, and then they scram. These guys are unscrupulous. They're dangerous. It's bad to listen to these people. And what happens is that since these are seen as easy and sexy in social media, they proliferate. They proliferate on our algorithms. They proliferate on social media. They proliferate inside of the HHS, right? With RFK, it's rampant right now. It's rampant.
Movie.org. In fact, we're doing a fundraiser right now to finish the movie. We visited a clinic where it's a chiropractic clinic. In addition to chiropractic, they put everyone on an organic diet. They had 77.
That was it. There, he just gave it away. That's it.
Right now to finish the movie.
Listen.
We visited a clinic where it's a chiropractic clinic. In addition to chiropractic, they put everyone on an organic diet. They had
there it is. There it is. Chiropractic. And as it's just they're so they're not serious people, man. They're just not serious people. I can't believe it. It gets wild. Of course it's a chiropractic. These guys.
77 couples who were infertile. Many of them had been to fertility clinics with no success. Guess how many of the 77 ended up with children? 77.
Wow.
100% success rate. And switching to organic was a major component of their success.
Actually evil.
So
actually evil.
The rise in fertility clinics from 40 years ago to 440 in the United States or more is likely being contributed to by GMOs and Roundup. And so we really recommend for people trying to get pregnant, for many reasons, get on organic food. Not just so that you can get pregnant, but that also can take a lot of the toxins out of the blood. So I know some doctors that say switch to organic at least 2 weeks before trying to have kids and stay organic through the pregnancy for sure.
Great advice there, Jeffrey. Couldn't agree more. I'm thinking about how many women don't know this information and they need to know it. So, hey, help us spread this message right now.
Yeah.
Because there are women out there who need to hear this and need to learn how to go GMO. Take a minute right now, press that share button, like button, if you like this live training. Jeffrey, let's move on here.
Oh my gosh.
And by the way, we've got a lot of great charts. Once we get through these first 6, some really things that are incredible. I'm so excited for you to share with us. Increased aging symptoms.
So they took rats that were fed genetically modified soy, and they found that within 8 months they had damage to the testicles, pancreas, and to the liver. But they took some other rats and they continued to feed them GMO soy compared to non-GMO soy. And by the end of their life, those that were on the GM soy had accelerated aging. So the signs of the liver accelerated aging. They also, I talked about that other study with the Roundup Ready corn they fed to rats. Well, it turns out those that were eating the Roundup Ready corn died earlier. So whether you call that accelerated aging or premature death, we don't know either.
Gosh.
So the whole process of eating genetically engineered foods may be causing serious disruptions of all these different systems. Now, if when the butchers tell us that when
How is like how again, like what is the mechanism that's causing this? It's so wild, man. Like I don't like how could they possibly how now it's impacting telomeres? Like how many different ways like how many ways can they fearmonger on this thing?
they cut into a carcass of a cow that's been eating GMO versus non-GMO, they
What?
look and smell totally different. And there's a discoloration that happens within a year for the cows that makes people who are rating the cows as if they're older. So they get lower cost in some cases, and it has a terrible smell, which might be the problems with the gut bacteria. And so I've talked to farmers' wives who say, I've seen the inside of animals that are fed GMO and non-GMO, and I will never feed meat from an animal that's been fed GMOs to my children. So
What? The smell and sight of an inside of an animal. That's where he's going with this. I don't even know what to say to that. That is wild. I don't. That is okay.
I haven't had that experience where
I
I've seen it or smelled it, but I've talked to others who have.
Well, I got a question here. This is from Paul Sabaj. He said, do you recommend any supplements? And I think the question is,
wow, I'm shocked, guys. First we got chiropractors, now we got supplements on it. I'm telling you, what he's gonna recommend a vitamin pack. I'm telling you, he's gonna recommend his vitamin pack right now.
do you recommend any supplements for the detoxification if somebody's
See,
consumed GMO in the past?
detox
Well, step
kit.
number one, I'll say this, is stop eating GMOs.
Right.
I mean, that by
Wow.
far is step number one. Go organic, go GMO free. And then after that, I'll actually say this. I think foods, or specifically herbal supplements that support the
Wow.
liver and kidney detoxification,
Wow.
cellular detoxification is very important. In fact, promoting the increase of glutathione in your body would be important. You're going to get that specifically from foods like milk thistle is incredible. Bupleurum, a popular herb in Chinese medicine. Dandelion is also very good at that. And then also herbs like turmeric, and the combination is taking bitter herbs that support liver detoxifications like the ones I mentioned, taking those with other herbs that are spicy like cayenne pepper, because that actually increases the amount of it that gets into your bloodstream and your cell. So turmeric with piperine is actually a very common supplement there as well. But again, lots of herbs, lots of vegetables. But the biggest thing is just stop eating them. Your body is really powerful at detoxifying itself. That brings us to the next topic here. Probably one of the biggest side effects of GMOs potentially in the future that we're going to start to continue to uncover is
absolutely evil person. It's also wild to think that processed foods and foods with GMOs don't harm the body. Dude, so processed foods are inherently bad. Do you know what the number one food that Americans eat for lunch that's processed is? A sandwich. Okay? Bread is a processed food. Deli meat is a processed food. Like, all these like ketchup and condiments are all processed, that kind of stuff. So the idea that, processed foods in and of itself, they're not bad, man. I'm telling you. The idea that preservatives are bad, that's another boogeyman that people put in there. It's not true. Like, like preservatives make it so your food doesn't spoil. Food waste is bad. We don't want more food waste. So having some preservatives so that there's not some, a ton of spoilage and bacteria living in your food, that's a good thing. That just is a good thing. You'd eat less of it. You wouldn't eat your food if it was had a bunch of bacteria living on it. So the thing with processed food is that processed food allows you to eat more of the food because it's more readily available. That's the problem with processed food. Processed food makes food more readily available, so people that have less of an impulse control eat more food. And that's me personally. So like if I have a bunch of processed food nearby, I'm going to, graze, I'm going to eat it while I go and not think about it. My food noise is kind of high. If I walk by something, I'm going to eat it. And having those things readily available means that it's more easily for me to gain weight. So that's the nefarious part about processed food. It isn't inherently a bad thing in and of itself. Like I eat ultra processed foods all the time, but it's in terms of protein powders, right? A protein powder in order to get the protein that I need in order for I'm weightlifting or recovering from jujitsu. That's a good thing. I'm not only living off of ultra processed foods, but adding that protein in is a benefit for sure. Anti-fascist frogs in the house, guys. Love anti-fascist frog. Thank you for being here. American hero. He is the anti-fascist frogs. Wait, was that a supplement video? It's an anti-genetically modified organism video. And of course, they're doing it from like the naturopath grifter angle. So they are, of course, selling supplements and stuff on that, of course, but it's just bad. What exactly is a processed food? Like, what does it mean? That's a great question. So, I mean, anything that has taken any type of um, breakdown or been exposed to anything. So, like pickling is a processed food, processing cucumbers. Okay. Or you could, yeah, I mean, like basically helping break down the food in a spot that's not where it would be unless it was raw, that kind of thing. So, yeah, exactly. Most food is technically processed in a way by humans. But yeah, I agree. So unless you're eating things off of like you're not cooking it, and people go this way, completely raw foods, they don't cook it, they don't eat processed foods. It's incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard.
Cancerous tumor growth.
Well, in that study we're talking about, with a 2-year study on rats, they fed them Roundup Ready corn.
Not saying all processed food is bad, but don't you think it's better to promote whole organic foods? Organic is just a marketing term. It just is. So organic refers to a basically it could mean a couple different things depending on who is giving the organic label. By the way, there is no like one organic label, um, but they actually still do use pesticides, but they're considered like organic pesticides. So they use things like neem oil as opposed, which is still there still is a compound in there that is a pesticide, but it's just considered a organic one. So it gets the umbrella of being okay. But because it's more broad, because it's less targeted, they have to use more of it in order to spray it onto crops, so or whatever. So organic food or organic farming actually requires more pesticides than genetically modified organisms, because genetically modified organisms, they have those pesticides already in it, right? Inside of the organism, they'll already have it, or they'll have the ability to, stave off a herbicide. And then because most pests actually, most pests, for if you're a farmer and you're growing a plant, the worst pests and the most abundant pests are actually weeds, because weeds are going to take the micronutrients of your crop plant that you want to save. So you actually want to target those plants specifically. It's very important. Shiba Doodle, what's up, man? How's it going? Nice to see you. Yeah. Yeah, you have to pay a lot of money to get certified organic. Yeah, and it's like, and it's just yeah, organic is just it's a marketing term, guys. Just is. It is wild. Only difference between organic and non-organic is the price. Yeah. Yeah. What is the best way to grow my strawberries? Just to grow them, man. I mean, yeah, I mean, however you want to grow them. I don't think that there's like a quote unquote best way. I don't think that strawberries are genetically modified, but I also don't think you have to worry about that. I mean, the um, basically the we're only talking about industrialized farming here. That's a big thing. So industrialized farming requires massive scales in order to make the amount of food necessary in order to feed the world. So if we didn't have industrialized farming, if we didn't have genetically modified foods, if we didn't have the green revolution, which started in the 1970s before molecular biology was even a field, we would just have a lot harder of a time to feed everyone on the earth today. And we probably wouldn't have this many people on the earth, because of that. So, but yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, 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 mission. I mean, so I mean, you're not gonna be, spraying, crop dusting pesticides at your, your little your thing back, in the back of your house or whatever, right? It's like I think that those are cool opportunities actually to grow different stuff that you don't normally eat, like, heirloom tomatoes or something like that you don't normally see at scale. I think that that is a cool idea, and you should like go into that and try to do that. Yeah.
They fed them Roundup, they fed them the corn. All three groups had multiple massive tumors, huge tumors. You may
Wow.
have seen these.
Basically, I'm trying to ask if you believe whole foods are more healthy for you. I think, yeah. So Whole Foods, the thing with Whole Foods specifically is Whole Foods is going to have everything in it. So the entire plant is going to include the fibrous material that isn't the vegetable or the fruit necessarily. It's going to have those parts of the plant material. It's gonna be really good for your gut. It's gonna be really good for your microbe diversity there, your microbiome, and it's gonna be really good for your fiber intake. So you wanna focus on your protein and you wanna focus on your fiber. Those are the two main catches of thank you, Sheepoodle, that you wanna catch, just in general. So those two things together are a big, are a big thing to look at, and I definitely think that those are where you should be going. So I yes, so if you need the fiber and 95% of people do, uh, then I definitely do recommend just adding in those whole foods just in general. And the thing is that a whole food is going to make you fill up. You're going to actually feel fuller longer. And that's the biggest thing too. Thank you, Ghostbusters. You feel fuller longer and you feel satiated when you eat something that has that plant fiber. And if you have, consider juicing, for example. Juicing, you're going to take that fibrous material away and you're still going to drink the nutrition part of that plant, but the problem is that you're not going to have that plant fiber. So you're not going to feel as satiated. That's what people say. That's what people say, in general, when they look at, processed versus hyper processed foods, or highly processed foods. Highly processed food diets, basically you don't feel full as long, so you eat more. So that means that you can have more calories, which means that you can overeat, which means that you can, it's easier to become obese. So those things stack up to see why processed food seems more unhealthy because it's easier to overeat. Like, dude, try like the little 100-calorie snack packs. Okay, think about that. Like the 100-calorie snack packs. How many of those you can down thoughtlessly? Okay, now I want you to go and try to down 100 calories of pickles. Try it. Try it genuinely. Look how many pickles you would need to eat to get 100 calories. It's impossible. It's you would throw up before you ate 100 calories of pickles. So in my mind, for me, what I do personally is like, if I'm trying to cut weight, for jujitsu or just in general, for the summer or whatever it is, like I will say, okay, if I'm going to have sweet peppers, seedless sweet peppers is like my thing. I love those, and pickles. So those are the two things. If I'm gonna choose to eat one of those, I can have as many as I want. Unlimited. I can gorge myself. I can go however many I want. I can keep going. There's no problem. I'll rest easy, on my diet. But the reality is that I'm not gonna have more than like 5 pickle spears, you know what I mean? And that's gonna be like 10 calories maybe, versus one of those 100 calorie snack packs. I could chomp down 5 of those, you know? So I think it's about giving yourself the freedom, genuinely giving yourself freedom to say, hey, if you're eating this as much as you want, and have kind of like and eat things that you want to eat. That's the other thing too. Like, go crazy, go like try different vegetables, try different fruit. Find stuff that you really, really, really like eating, and then let yourself go as much as you want on it. Don't feel bad about eating a pickle, like, because you can't. It's like it's good for you. So yeah, I'm on a wicked I'm on a big pickle kick right now. I love it. I like eating celery when looking for other foods. Celery is good. Celery is really good. Yeah, I like it. We love it.
Pictures, just horrible. I talked to another researcher from the Russian Academy of Sciences. Her lab animals also had massive tumors. We know that Roundup is sprayed on most GMOs. Roundup is classified by the World Health Organization as a class 2A carcinogen, meaning they said it causes cancer in animals, it causes mutations in human DNA, which can lead to cancer, and where it is sprayed in large amounts, it creates a high spike in cancer in the population. They wouldn't call it a class 1 carcinogen because they didn't have enough studies, but I think that's enough studies for us to determine we don't want it.
Guys, that is at levels that is so high. Like so high. Like again, so much glyphosate, like in order for that to happen. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm sorry, but the idea that people, like would ever be afraid of something like this, it's just, I'm sorry, but there just isn't glyphosate in your food that you're eating that is at the level that you should care. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much for thank you for the super chat. Mission Silo. Advice how to deal with corporation food monopolies. Ooh, that's a good one, man. That's a really good question. Um, Honestly, the problem is like there's I think that you have to have like some type of government intervention, for sure. We have a huge problem in the United States with food monopolies, absolutely. Um, and I think that we should address it. Like Tyson, for example, is like, a huge monopoly in a lot of our food production. So um, I think the first thing is using the Farm Bill, which is a gigantic bill, ladies and gentlemen. It is wildly large, way too big. So part of it is like we are subsidizing bad farming, which is like mostly maize. So mostly we actually grow a lot of maize in the country because our corn makes the ethanol, and the ethanol is required for our gas. So what happens is that since the 90s, basically a whole bunch of our United States farmland is covered in corn in order to create that ethanol for our gasoline. And that has a big problem because that actually ties corn prices in with the cost of gasoline, which is kind of weird. And then on top of it, it kind of creates this scenario where now all these farms are kind of like indebted to maize and corn, as opposed to kind of staying on the up and up and staying in the next generation with trying new technologies. They're growing corn. So it's very unfortunate. It's been very unfortunate how like a good meaning bill that was passed by Bill Clinton to, make part of our gas renewable. Look where we are now because of it. It's sad. It is very sad.
expose ourselves to Roundup herbicides.
What about encouraging home gardens by buying from the source and DIY solutions? Yeah, dude, I like that. I think that that's fine. I mean, we just don't I mean, I do that. I think community gardens are an incredible thing. I think that they're awesome. I think we could definitely as like as a culture, um incentivize that stuff. I used to live by a community garden at UC Riverside, which is cool. But yeah, man, I think it is a cool idea. I mean, personally, I think a lot of people that go to high school and stuff that's like should be part of their class is honestly like figuring out how to garden, how to farm, and then how like bring back home ec, so that they can learn how to cook as well. So I think that's the biggest thing too, like going all the way from plant all the way to food and showing how it is. Thank you, Tony Tier. Have you ever considered going vegan? Um, it's funny you say that. I've been watching a lot of feminist lives recently. Shout out to Ingrid. And yeah, I have thought about it for sure, actually. I've thought about doing like the 30-day like vegan challenge, just to see what it would be like. Specifically because I honestly need to eat more. I need to eat more fiber in my diet, to be honest with you. But I've been wrestling with why I am not vegan, because there is so much exploitation of animal products in our society, and like whether or not I'm gonna contribute to that is kind of sad. Um, I don't know. I kind of I guess I kind of just out of sight, out of mind it, in my brain. And that's the truth of it, is that I just kind of like I'd rather not think about it, which is kind of like pathetic, but that's just the truth, because there is no justification in terms of like culture on like torturing animals. There is no justification in the historical aspect of it, I don't think, because we have the choice now. Um, and I really do think that we should have some type of like governmental, step in, or governmental program that kind of like, Meatless Mondays or something like that, kind of like helping people, push along. I'm a huge advocate of cell cultured meat, those type of like solutions, so that it kind of is seamless. And I do think in the future, by the way, that I do think that that's where a lot of the meat production is going to go. It's going to be microbial. It's going to be with cell tissue culture. Um, don't do it. This is Sheepadoodle. Okay, thanks. Thanks, sheep. Um, Brenta, hi. Are we discussing veganism? We're talking about just food in general. We're watching a GMO side effects uh, propaganda video, basically. So, yeah, yeah. How about pescatarian diets? I think I mean, it's very weird to me how people, um, it really is an arbitrary line, it feels like, because it's like, um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get into like a huge veganism like thing, but yeah, I do think that it kind of like arbitrarily defines sentience as like just core dates. Basically, if you have a vertebra. So I do feel like it's a little weird. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like it is a little interesting to me. Um, but basically plants aren't sentient, so that is the reason why. And but I insects and stuff, I guess, aren't either. Um, but it's weird that like honeybees aren't considered um part of that too. I get, but I guess you're exploiting them. So yeah, it is a bunch of interesting. Um, I think truthfully, so truthfully, I do think that like these type of conversations are actually really really important. And I do think that even if we are omnivores, we have to listen to the cares and the ideas and the ideals of those that don't eat meat, that want the animals to have a better life. And I think that that's like the biggest thing for me, is that we should we should strive for a world where vegans see the progress being made, and they're not gonna eat meat or something, but they're at least seeing it happy, going in the right direction. You know what I mean? I think that that is really important. Lab grown meat would be a huge thing. And I do think that I do think that meat production will go that direction. I basically because climate change is going to be such a big part of how farmers exist in the world, and there's going to be a lot of externalities. Basically, the climate's going to be changing, the weather's going to be changing so rapidly that you're gonna have people saying, "Wait, why do I have to deal with all these pesky, you know, extreme weather events when I could just use a fermenter and then I can dial in the individual percentages points." You know what I mean? You can really dial in with through engineering a fermenter, but through a cow, it's very hard. If you think about it, a fermentation tank and a cow are both bioreactors, okay? It's just that a cow is a bioreactor that's living, and a fermentation tank is one that's dead and that you can actually, tweak a little bit. So it's you're just gonna have higher efficiencies with fermentation tanks for sure. I'm entering in politics. Best contact info for advice? Oh, but keep here, man. Stay at this place. We'll just keep talking for sure. We'll just this is stay here. Just keep this place. Post scarcity would help a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I think like just having a government that prioritizes life and quality of life, I think that that would be the way to go. I don't think that we should subsidize meat production. I don't. I don't think that we should subsidize um animal farming like that. I don't. I think that we need a huge a huge amount of money going into cell tissue culture, and cell grown beef alternatives. Like that's where we should be spending our billions of dollars, not in farm insurance, not in these ways, because like I said, I do think that in the end it's not going to be the future. Or corn, yeah, or corn, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate you. Um, Clone meat, please. Yeah, I know, right? I have heard, and it's not a popular take, but I have heard people that are vegan that some say, I've heard a person say that they are against the lab grown meat because it basically is a stopgap between people just realizing that they don't have to exist off of animal suffering, and they'd rather just have no cell grown meat, no lab grown meat, and just have people eating only plants. And I think that that's very fair. I think that makes sense too. But I really do feel like in order for us to make the biggest change possible as a society, you have to make it as easy as possible at the end user. So, for example, like, um, the difference between a coal-fired power plant and solar panels on the roof of my house at the light switch, it's exactly the same, right? I don't have any differences with my electricity coming from solar versus another state that the coal-fired power plants is funneling that bulb. And that's the big difference, right? At the end user, it's not any different to make the better, more renewable and sustainable choice. That's the key difference. So I think as people that want to reduce animal suffering, which I do, we have to incentivize and make meat products that can make that transition. And making a burger, and if you don't know that it's an Impossible Burger or whatever, I don't, and you don't care, and you like that taste anyway, I think that's a win. I think that's a giant win for sure. Mammoth sirloin might be possible, but I doubt brontosaurus steak will ever be a thing. I do think, like, in this, guys, I think that, like, in 200 years, like, you're gonna have microbial lab-grown meat be the common thing. That's gonna be, like, the standard, and then the billionaire lunch will be like, "Whoa, this is a cow. Like, something had to die for this." You know what I mean? It's gonna be kind of weird. You're gonna be like, "Well, why?" It's gonna be, think about that. If you in a world where cell cultured meat tastes exactly the same as a beef patty, you would literally have to be psychotic in order to be like, no, 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 I want an animal to have suffered in order for me to eat this burger. Do you know what I mean? That's weird. That is very weird. So I think that that's the world that I'm striving to go to, in order to get, for sure. Could you clone humans? Uh, Theoretically, yes. Yes, theoretically you could, but the problem is, what do you do with the humans that were unsuccessful to clone or had the problems in the cloning? So that's it. Hey, have fun. So that's the bigger problem. So let's get back to it, guys. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Which is sprayed on GMOs, and unfortunately, it's sprayed on the grains in the United States, on the wheat, barley, rye, rice, non-GMO stuff. However, it's sprayed just before harvest as a ripening agent to dry.
Clone these nuts. Based and true pilled. Okay, love it.
it down, and it ends up in the food and we eat it. So the number one recommendation is to buy organic, and if you can't buy organic, then at least buy non-GMO.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jeffrey. Well, we're going to dive in here into something. I'm so excited for Jeffrey.
Oh, no way, guys. They're doing autism. Are you serious? Look at this. Oh my gosh. Guys, you can see it. You can see in his face. You can see, look at this. Look at this, the graph behind them. Autism prevalence over 6 years old and glyphosate applied to corn and soy. Oh my gosh. Absolutely wild, dude.
He's going to quickly go through the rise in certain specific diseases, from autism to cancer and other conditions, maybe even a condition that you're struggling with or someone you love.
No
He's
way.
go through the top 25.
Yeah. I have a condition. It's called bullshit-itis, dude. There's a bunch of people that are lying on the internet and making money off of you. That is the problem, okay? That's the problem that I have. And that's the way that these guys are taking advantage of people, taking advantage of statistics and selling you some vitamin pack. That's my problem. Jeez.
Conditions that are being affected. Jeffrey, let's go
Gosh.
ahead and start going through this.
Okay, so here we have, this is the amount of glyphosate sprayed, and this happens to be a 4-year average. And this is the autism prevalence of 6-year-olds according to government research. Now,
Wow.
that
What an absolute piece of shit this guy is.
looks like it's a very tight line. Now, if there's a way of telling if something is correlated 100%, and that would get a value of 1, an R value of 1. This is 0.9972.
Wow, what an
which means
awful
this is a
person.
very, very tight correlation. Now, I got to warn you, it's a correlation. That doesn't mean that one affects the other. It could.
Oh my God, dude. So that's just, why would you even put that graph up then? Why would you even put that graph up, bro? Like, what are you talking about? You know what's correlated? You know what's correlated with glyphosate?
0.9.
Your bald spot, bro. Your bald spot is correlated with the amount of glyphosate that we use, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing right here? Trying to misinform people? Get out of here, man. What an absolute loser, dude. Like it's something to fix rather than something to adapt and live with. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the idea that the idea that every single issue has to be like tied down and pushed on autism, people with autism. Like I just it's so frustrating to me that these people are political pawns and they're just trying to live their life. They're just like trying to like maybe they're watching this and now they're it's just every societal problem that these naturopaths are not okay with are like, hey, you know, it's tied with autism too. You know, it's like, bro, I'm like, I'm catching strays out here. What are you talking about?
972, which means this is a very, very tight correlation. Now, I got to warn you, it's a correlation. That doesn't mean that one affects the
What an
other.
awful
It
person.
could be coincidence. However, we don't think it is a coincidence, because if you look at the physiology of autistic children, according to the published research, as my friend Dr. Stephanie Seneff has at MIT, she found all these particular disorders and changes in the physiology, from gut bacteria to all sorts of things. And then she looked at the biochemistry.
Like how, dude, like all the things that this guy has said are tied with glyphosate. Like seriously, your gut, your stomach lining, your organs, your brain chemistry, the idea that every single thing to this guy is tied with glyphosate and genetically modified organisms. Every malady in the world that he wants to attribute is just like, it's glyphosate, man.
Of Roundup and its active ingredient.
Exactly.
Glyphosate. So
Exactly,
this is
anti-fascist
glyphosate,
frog.
the active
Exactly.
ingredient of Roundup.
I'm tired of my disorders being used as a political weapon. Exactly, brother. Like what? It's not an ideological football that you can kind of just exploit for one another. You know what I mean? It's just, oh my gosh. I know, right? The director of the National Tox Program believes endocrine disruptors cause autism. Oh, no way. Really? That is so wild. Interesting. Man, I mean, ecology, environmental toxicology must be like that would be a tough one. There could be a lot of people correlation versus causation on that kind of stuff. But this is why like medical studies take so long and it's so expensive, because you have to demonstrate the mechanism, right? You have to demonstrate the mechanism for how one impacts the other directly, and then you have to take out that mechanism and then reintroduce that mechanism with that only being the single variable change. You know, it's very difficult, man. It's very difficult to do these studies, and yeah, that's what it is. They have to deal with confounders. Yeah, exactly, Bill. Exactly. There's so much to deal with.
And she found that they fit hand in glove, and that for her demonstrated a potential causative relationship, that the glyphosate is linked to the explosion of autism. And so we do know that in some cases, when families switch to organic food, which takes out the GMOs and also these toxic chemicals, their kids can get better. We have
It's just, guys, you can't, I mean, you're just not, you're like, maize is everywhere and maize is genetically modified. Like, you just can't do that. I'm sorry. I bet that most of these people are saying this shit to get paid. There's no way they're saying it genuinely, but believing what they're saying. Exactly, dude. They were just trying to sell us some vitamin back freaking, 30 minutes ago that this guy had. I'm sure it wasn't like one that was like linked in the description, but I guarantee you that he has one. I guarantee you we can look at it. We'll look at it afterwards.
In our Secret Ingredients movie, which you can watch the trailer at secretingredientsmovie.com, we have 3 kids who are autistic in the film. 2 are no longer autistic, and 1 was switched to a mainstream classroom.
No longer autistic. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. That is wild. That is wild. That is crazy. Yeah, exactly. Like, sell your shit and supplements that gives you a ED and leave us autistic people alone. What are they selling? Sheepadoodle, I don't know if they have. Okay, let's just look at it right now. I made the claim without saying it, but you know what? I'm just telling you, I I have a feeling. Okay, I mean, you have a feeling. I've seen in a bunch of these. I it. Here we go. Here it is. Here it is. I told you guys. Get started. Get book your consultation fee. Brain fog, blood pressure, decode your thing in one health. It always is, dude. It always is. 342 students. How much is it? Free trainings, podcasts, resources. Our team. Functional medicine practitioner. Oh my gosh, dude. He freaking went and got his chiropractic stuff. Of course, dude. Of course, man. Every single time. Look at he got his chiropractor. Since this came out 9 years ago, he's a doctor now. And now he's oh my God. He's the best-selling author of Think This, Not That, Eat Dirt, Keto Diet, Ancient Remedies. Oh my gosh. And the Biblio Diet. Is that the Bible diet? I'm telling you guys, like, Maha is just, it's just Christianity healthcare. Like, that's just what it is. Like, no way, bro. The Biblio Diet, lifelong master metabolism, reduce pain with healing secrets from the Bible. Oh my, healing secrets from the Bible. Guys, they were keeping the healing portion secret, the healing books of the Bible. They forgot to let us know. Thankfully, this guy has them. Oh my God. Intermittent fasting for any experience level. How could you need that? Common foods in your fridge that can reduce pain and boost your immune system. Cancer fighting nutrition and wellness secrets. What the hell, man? What an awful person. What an absolute awful person. You just know. You just know, dude. As soon as Jeffrey Smith. Let's see him. Let's see what he's doing. Jeffrey Smith at this moment, the Responsible Technology website. Here we go. Seeds of Deception. This is what he's selling. You can donate now. Resources, programs. GMO-free community. Protect the microbiome, protect the future. Read the published articles in Microorganisms Journal. Oh. Learn. This guy seems to be just donations, which isn't that bad, I guess, comparatively. Rising to the GMO 2.0. What? Oh my gosh. I once knew a megachurch pastor. He got struck by lightning and died. That got people in the congregation into a heated discussion. Oh my gosh, that's good. Unprecedented threat from GMO 2.0. Genetic engineering. Hey, that's me. That's literally what I do. Genetic engineering technology can rewrite the life code of anything with DNA. Not really, not anything. This brings an unprecedented threat of widespread corruption of nature's gene pool. Shockingly, the U.S. gene-edited organisms can be created and released without safety checks. That's not true at all. There's so many regulations. What is he talking about? What's up, Dem? Thank you. Yeah, Skog, me, and Joe were all hanging out. It was good. It was good times. Wait. We can agree on one thing. We share a viewpoint with the co-creator of CRISPR, the most used gene editing technology. This is a pivotal moment in our history. We have to make a choice. With our mastery over the code of life, DNA, comes a level of responsibility for we as individuals and as a species are woefully unprepared. I mean, we literally, what? But she's saying that in the, like, we need to keep doing the thing. He's saying as if we don't need to. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. The co-creator, that's a weird way of putting some co-inventor really, but he doesn't know the difference. The co-creator. That's a really good point. I know. Yeah, anti-fascist frog, the code of life. Yeah, that's a very, very cringe. Gosh, so frustrating.
So we're going to go through several different charts, and I'm only going to show the charts, show the relationship, and give you the name of the disease. We're just looking to see if there's a pattern here. If there's a pattern between glyphosate, and in some cases the line also includes the GMOs that have been introduced, the GMO soy and corn, and the diseases, to see if there's a relationship. Here we have inflammatory bowel disease. Now in my research...
Bro, are you serious? That's not even... Like, what?
In my survey of 3,600 people, it matched the same experience as speaking to audiences at 150 levels.
About CRISPR. They won, Doudna and Carpentier won the Nobel Prize for CRISPR.
Lectures and asking people, what got better when you switched to non-GMO? Can you guess? Digestive disorders.
Absolutely.
80% or more of the people that showed an improvement of anything showed an improvement in digestive disorders.
Wait. I thought it was, man, so you can like remove your autism, no digestive orders. You don't have to worry about cancer anymore. Wow, this is just incredible.
It's the #1 reported improvement, both in terms of people directly, in terms of 3,600 people surveyed, and in the hundreds and hundreds of doctors that we've interviewed as part of these surveys.
I know, yeah, dude. I know. That's my point too. It's like, bro, I guess finasteride still is king. And this guy couldn't an all natural non-GM diet couldn't keep his hair.
Crohn's and ulcerative colitis.
Okay. Now we have deaths
What
due
kind
to
of liquid is in that jar? That is for sure glyphosate. I think it's just water, but he's gonna be. This is a full jar of glyphosate. I challenge anyone to drink this.
intestinal infection, another gastrointestinal disorder.
Wow.
Here we have congenital.
This is not real. There's nowhere.
Birth defects, infection, another gastrointestinal disorder.
Wow.
No. He thinks that this is. Oh my god, guys, look at the y-axis, dude. Look at the y-axis. The random line, dude, the random line on a bar graph. Bro, but look at the y-axis. 40 to 50 or 40 to 65 on the left one and 60 to 85 on the other one. None of these bar graphs have any type of significant like significance on them. So you have no idea like how big they actually are. Like this is the most laughable thing. Guys, I mean, this is exactly no statistical testing whatsoever. I mean, this is the reason why none of this stuff can ever be peer reviewed and published. I mean, this is exactly why, because they try stuff like this and they get just completely laughed at. And they're such a complete joke, dude. What a complete joke.
Here we have congenital birth.
I love how they were like, whoa.
Defects.
No
Roundup
way.
is linked to birth defects, and you can read a lot of information on that online.
Oh my gosh, dude. Again, look at the y-axes, guys. From 10 to 90 on the right-hand side. 1.25 to 3 on the left-hand side. They just completely making it up, dude. Yeah, they're just making grass. Yeah, bro, they're just making up grass. I'm sorry. I guess that they're just doodling. You know what I mean? They're just doodling. Look at these guys. 1.25, Gabriel. 1.25 to 3. Okay, get it right. It's not 1.5. It's 1.25. Okay, it's very specifically. They're very serious people. Okay, they're not just making things up. 10 to 90. 10 to 90. 10 to 90. Like, what is that? What is that? Why?
This is kidney failure, death due to kidney failure. This
Wow.
has the GMO.
And it doesn't even track. It doesn't even track, guys. Like, it doesn't even.
In corn line as.
It's just it doesn't even track. Like, why does the dip here when it's still going up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's
well
not
as
even.
The Roundup's glyphosate.
Wow.
Here we have hepatitis C. So.
Well, at least the y-axes are okay here. Hospital discharge diagnoses of hepatitis C. Plot against percent acres in genetically engineered soy. Are you so okay? We just so just to clear, they have hospital discharge diagnosis of hepatitis C plotted against the percent acres of planted genetically engineered soy. The amount of patients discharged with hepatitis C versus the percent of acres planted with genetically engineered soy. Percentage acres of total US? Is that what they're talking about? I mean, who knows, dude? Who knows? Oh, you should make a pseudo health pseudo health journal commercial. I thought about that actually. I thought about making like a joke, like a complete yeah. I'm really inspired actually. Like there was this one that I'm loving, this one channel right now. He's like, I'm the PR. We're the PR team for Lindsey Graham, and it's so funny. The comedy is so peak. So I was thinking, yeah, like something like they did have that one where it was like SNL did it. It was like the RFK Maha hospital, and that was so funny. He's like, this guy's got 10 bullet wounds in his, in his chest. He needs blood transfusion. Like, or a 1 to a million dilution of the finest lavender tea. In the-
Their immune system is not functioning as well, and the liver and kidney.
Wait, so he's saying that the immune system's not functioning because of the hepatitis C?
So their immune system is not functioning as well, and the liver and kidneys are two of the most important organs that are targeted with GMOs and Roundup. Some recent studies show serious debilitating effects from very, very tiny amounts of Roundup in the drinking water of rats. Here we have
I there's so many like steps. Even if that was going to be your claim, there's so many steps between percentage of soy planted versus hepatitis C. Like there's so many different, like what if the increase in soy planting was, from like farming or something, having to feed cows, or increase in soy milk production. Like the idea that you would just link these together, I can't even. This is worse than the graph you make in stat epidemiology. Dude, this is crazy. Again, oh my God, here we go. Hospital discharge diagnoses of ADHD and glyphosate applied to corn and soy crops. Again, on the left, not going to 0, starting at 20. This is wild.
ADHD. It's an interesting thing that Roundup blocks certain metabolic pathways in the body. One is
Dude, it's everything. Oh my God, glyphosate is tied to everything. Tell me a system in your body that isn't tied to glyphosate. Like, holy moly, dude.
called the Shikimate pathway, used by the gut bacteria to produce the building blocks of serotonin, of melatonin, of dopamine. You know how important those are for mood and behavior.
Yeah.
When you don't have enough serotonin,
Wow.
melatonin,
Yeah. This guy's like, oh wow. Yeah, we talk about that in chiropractor school. Wow, yeah.
dopamine, you know how important those are for mood and behavior.
Chase, dude, Chase, I'm so happy about your physics content, bro. Amazing. Glyphosate lowered my credit score.
When you don't have enough serotonin, melatonin, and dopamine, you can face pain problems,
Oh my gosh.
depression, anxiety, cognitive problems, sugar regulation, etc. Here we have anxiety again.
Hospital discharge diagnosis of anxiety and glyphosate. Oh, this isn't a percentage now, guys. We're just changing it. I love how they constantly are changing back and forth. So it's not a percentage of glyphosate or soy, or a percentage of soy, or a percentage of corn. Now we're just glyphosate. I love how no matter what happens, we're constantly changing what it is. We're changing the y-axes. We're changing as a percentage.
Possibly a result of the deprivation of serotonin from the action of Roundup or glyphosate on this gut bacteria. Schizophrenia, another potential from that particular same disorder. Here we started to get into cancers, liver and bile duct cancer, going up with the soy and corn that are GMO, plus the glyphosate. This is kidney and renal pelvic cancer.
What? Wait, okay, so it's not even, I can't even, dude. There's not even
Schizophrenia, another potential.
schizophrenia now. This schizophrenia. Dude, exactly, Gabriel. They're literally just they're going through them as fast as they can, just to be like, you don't need to look at this. You don't need to look at this. This is just where it's even their R value right here. Look at their R value. 0.883. Like, bro.
From that particular same disorder.
Here,
Then
here.
we started
Liver and intrahepatic bile duct cancer incidences plotted against glyphosate applied to corn and soy.
cancers, liver and bile duct cancer, going up with the soy and corn that are
It doesn't though.
GMO plus the glyphosate. This is
But why?
the soy and corn.
Wait, no. But it doesn't.
That are GMO.
It doesn't. He's saying that, oh yeah, the cancer is going up with the glyphosate, but it doesn't. Look, it starts going up way over here in 1989. It's not even, glyphosate isn't even used until, yeah, 1997. So the incidences, it goes from 3.4 to 4.4, which is a 30% increase. It just goes up 30% increase, and then another 20% here. So it's already gone up. It's gone up from 3.4 to 5.4, an increase of like 70% since from 1989 to 1997 in 8 years. And then you would think that the glyphosate would have to be applied for years before it actually got into and caused something like a liver cancer. So you would think that it would be coming after, but in like year like 2000 or something, but it doesn't. It completely stops. I don't get it. Yeah, Reagan is a better inflection point than, yeah. True. Maybe did you think about that? Glyphosate is why I got maced. Exactly, anti-fascist frog. Yeah, ice is a well-known side effect of glyphosate, actually. Yeah, that's definitely it. I sprayed some glyphosate to kill some weeds yesterday. I woke up and a small foot was growing from my head. Dude, that's amazing. That's incredible. Congratulations. I drank some raw milk and saw my chiropractor, all better now. Oh man, that was cool. Oh, Romy IRL, thank you so much. Oh my God.
The glyphosate. This is kidney and renal pelvic cancer.
It doesn't happen again. Like, what is he saying these?
Glyphosate.
He just does. I just can't take this. It's wild, dude. It goes from 10 to 11, an increase of over 10% before it even happens. And then as soon as it comes in, it actually staves off for years, and then it only comes up afterwards. Like,
this is kidney and renal.
Come on, man.
Cancer. This is urinary and bladder cancer. This is thyroid cancer.
What I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea what to tell you. This guy, look at these whys again. Again, they completely change this to be whatever they want it to be. Look at this guy on the right. Wow. Whoa.
Wow.
This is deaths due to acute myeloid leukemia. This is incidence of diabetes.
Yeah, exactly. This is 100% true. They didn't expect anyone to actually look at these graphs for to be honest with you. They really didn't. They were like, oh, damn. Yeah, exactly.
And there's many potential reasons why
Wow.
GMOs and Roundup may be related to diabetes. Deaths.
Wait, oh, diabetes now. Diabetes. Oh my gosh, everything. Oh, stroke. Like literally everything. I love it. Just they're just like putting it on everything.
due to stroke. This is deaths from senile
Pick a struggle. Pick a, dude, you're trying to do too much, man. It's so true, dude. It's so true. Just like just everything, like you can't. Oh my gosh, that's so funny, dude.
dementia. This is deaths from
Dementia,
Alzheimer's
dementia, dude. Just everything.
disease. This is deaths from Parkinson's disease.
Hemorrhoids, yeah, hemorrhoids for sure is up.
This is deaths due to obesity.
Oh, death due to obesity. There it is. There it is. Death. I just couldn't it deaths per 100,000 at least. Okay, I was like, bro, imagine not using a per capita number here. You know what I mean? Like, how could I do? Oh my gosh.
This is deaths due to hypertension.
Blood pressure, obesity,
This is anemia,
anemia,
dementia,
everything, bro.
insomnia, which might be
Guys, it's almost as if numbers kind of like, it's almost as you could put anything on here. It's like, I love that he doesn't get this. He doesn't understand it. I don't get it. Like, it's so funny to me. He's just like, he's literally, it's like he's bragging that he could just do this with anything. He's just like, yeah, I could, it's like everything. If this stuff makes everyone autistic, then why do I have the other mental issues? No autism, no liver, and no kidney problems. That because it's nefarious. It's coming. It's coming, dude. That's in the same way that like everyone thought everyone's gonna die 6 months after the COVID shot. It's actually 60 years. So checkmate. There you go.
related to the melatonin, which is necessary for the circadian rhythms, which may be suppressed, as we talked about. This is
What? Hospital, dude, bro, they're not even, he got so lazy, he didn't even draw the fake graph on anymore. He's just like, bro, you know.
vitamin D deficiency, which is the result of another metabolic pathway
Wow.
that's interfered with by glyphosate. And here we go to the summary. Now, I got to say one thing.
Summary.
We mentioned digestive disorders. And I know you've discussed this before with this audience. Leaky gut, okay? We know that
Leaky gut, is that after the coffee enema? Is that what that is? A leaky gut after the coffee enema? Or is it, you know what I mean? What's the
Roundup can cause leaky gut, holes between the cells in the intestines. The intestines are only one cell thick. So you may have holes between your gut.
I could have, your gut's only one cell thick? Is that right? I am not like, that doesn't seem right, guys. I don't, that doesn't seem a single cell. You think their large intestine is one cell? Is that right? Is that right?
And your bloodstream. We know that the Bt toxin produced in corn can poke holes in cells. So you may have holes in the cells and between cells. If you have leaky,
He thinks that they're donut holing? He thinks that they're donut holes?
gut, can you think of which of those disorders and diseases might be related to leaky gut? Because it's a long part of that list.
Most, I mean, I'm gonna say, I mean, it's hey, what's up, Kamal? How's it going, man? Man, you know, I'm gonna say all of them. They're all like, it's a really big thing. Actually, it's going everywhere. You know, leaky gut. I would say bowel. You know, there's so much, dude. Help me out. Help me out.
To them, especially intestinal issues.
Be related to leaky gut because it's a long part of that list.
Most of them, especially.
Oh, fuck me. I was joking, dude. I was absolutely just to review, guys. If you're just coming in, if you're just coming in, okay, we're reviewing basically GMOs are causing everything bad in the body, everything, head to toe, testes, dementia, your endocrine system's messed up, DNA's messed up. You're producing herbicides 24/7 in your stomach. Every disease known to mankind. Also, it's also at the same time, just to let you know, your sleep. Oh yeah, that's definitely glyphosate. That's definitely it.
Intestinal issues, immune-related issues are huge as well.
Right, cancer as well.
Yeah.
We have Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
I mean, autism, absolutely.
Oh, autism. I mean, absolutely. It's all linked together. I mean, it's all linked together. This guy is just, it's so funny, dude. Tom, HP, what's up, dude? Yo, I joined the live a few months ago, worried about not getting in to join a lab. Did you got it? I got it. I've been there for 3 weeks now, and it's been amazing. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, dude. Good job, man. Good job. Let's go. Let's go. Good job, man. Good job. Proud of you. Putting yourself out there. Got into a lab. It's gorgeous, dude. Good job. Love it, dude. It's a good it's a good break from this. Oh my god. I have my own cells to look after now. I like it. Nice, dude. There you go.
Totally. Now, autoimmune disease is related to leaky gut, and here's how I describe it. Normally, the proteins in the food is digested into little itsy bitsy pieces. That's the technical term. And then
little itsy bitsy pieces. I just wanted to wait. I wanted to share. How is this guy? What is this guy's background? Like, what is this guy's educational background? Jeffrey Smith's full bio. So nothing. Yeah, this is a bad sign, guys. This is a really bad sign. When the about page is only over 25 years, like the credentials are the website, that's a bad sign, guys. That's a real bad sign. A what? A meditator? I was like, a mediator? I was like, he was a crisis mediator? No, a meditator since 1975. He's a meditator. That's really his claim to fame? What the hell, dude? Jeffrey Smith, naturopath, regenerative. Stem cell therapy? No. Responsible technology, that's it. Here we go. This is it. Wikipedia. Consumer advocates. He's a former politician. Oh, there it is. He's appeared twice on the Dr. Oz show. Wow, crazy. He's worked with organic food marketers, and alternative health product promoters, excuse me. In 1998, Smith ran unsuccessfully for Congress as a candidate for the Natural Law Party. What? Supporters identify Smith as an influential educator on the alleged risks associated with genetically modified foods, while others point out that Smith's lack of formal scientific training. He got a bachelor's degree at Brighamtown and an MBA from a management school in Iowa. Smith was a Natural Law Party member in 1996. In 1998, he became the party's candidate for U.S. Congress in Iowa's 1st District to raise awareness about GMOs. Oh my gosh, since 1998. Wow. Smith received less than 1% of the vote. Wow. I can't believe it got more than that. I can't believe he got that much. That's a lot. Smith worked for several years as less than 1%, bro. That's so bad. That's so bad, dude. They say less than 1%, but how many is it really? Like, how many is it really? I'm really that petty. I'm gonna look. Cause it could be one vote. Cause technically it could, like, one vote could be less than 1%. Wow. So he got last place. He got half a vote. So the 106,000 was the winning. Okay. 79,000 was second place, the Democrat. Reform Party got 1,200 votes, and he got 900 votes. So he didn't even get 1,000 votes. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. A variety of organic food companies see Smith as a champion for their interests. And Smith supporters describe him as arguably the world's foremost expert on the topic of genetically modified foods. Kill me. In contrast, others, such as Michael Spector, writing in The New Yorker, reported that Smith was presented as a scientist on the Dr. Oz show despite his lack of any scientific expertise. Bruce Chassie, a molecular biologist and food scientist, wrote to the show arguing that Smith's, quote, only professional experience prior to taking up his crusade against biotechnology is as a ballroom dance teacher, yogic flying instructor, and political candidate for the Marihelse's cult's Natural Law Party. That's brutal, bro. That's brutal. That's brutal, dude. Dude, what a joke, man. What an absolute joke. I hate this guy so much. Here we go. All right, let's go. Let's go back.
That gets absorbed into the bloodstream, then it gets used. However, when you have holes in the walls of the intestines, then big, large, monster-type proteins get into the bloodstream.
Wait. Wait. He thinks the human epithelial cells have holes in them now? Literally holes in them?
And the immune system attacks. And so it's a very modern immune system. They all get out their iPhones and they take pictures of the attacker and they post it on their Facebook. And then it's an old iPhone and it's pixelated. And so when the immune system attacks anything that looks like that, they may attack the thyroid, they may attack the microvilli or the pancreas because it.
What? He's just throwing things around, dude. He's just saying things.
Looks like the attacker because of the pixelated in their own Facebook. So this is what's called autoimmune disease, where the body starts to attack itself because of.
As someone published in Studying Lung Epithelium, I'm horrified. Oh my God, dude. His analogies are, he doesn't even know the subject to give an analogy. That, like, Gabriel, it's not an analogy. That's how he understands the subject. That is literally like that's how it's not an analogy. You know what I mean? You know, he's not
Leaky gut and old iPhones. So that's the reason.
You know, I've never heard that analogy, Jeffrey, and I love it. But I mean, it's spot on. I mean, what you're saying here, and one of the things, again, what Jeffrey talked about here. Look at all of the digestive-related issues, immune-related conditions, and cancer, things affecting the cell. And we know this to be true. I mean, many of you viewers know this, that your gut is related to the health also of your brain. It's related.
Don't die. I hate. It makes me so sad that they're like bastardizing my field too. Yes, he is. He is the brontosaurus right on the right hand side is a chiropractor, fake doctor. Yeah, it's yeah.
To the health of your skin, all of these things. And when you're consuming genetically modified foods, it's going to follow that path Jeffrey talked about. It's going to destroy good microbes in the gut, tear holes in the gut wall, get into your bloodstream, causes immune reactions, and cause system-wide damage in your body. And Jeffrey, I appreciate you so much what you're doing. Jeffrey, if this is the first time you've seen him, he is really the man behind the non-GMO movement. And one of the things you need.
He looks like a chiropractor propped up his neck and it just stayed like that. Take a shot every time that they mention autism or any other disorder. Yes, yeah, exactly. That's a good one. I like that. That's good luck, dude.
To know, and why we appreciate all of you viewing this right now is we need to take a stand right now. We need to say no
Stand up.
to GMO.